In 1692, a Massachusetts court accepted stories about invisible attacks as evidence. One respected woman was found not guilty. Then, the jury reconsidered, and she was hanged. This was Salem. No one was burned at the stake, and no witchcraft was ever proved. The real story was more disturbing. Ordinary people became convinced their neighbors served the devil, until fear began to count as legal proof. It began when 9-year-old Betty Paris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams, living in a village minister's household, started suffering alarming fits. No one knows what caused every episode. Historians debate illness, imitation, performance, or some mixture. The moldy rye theory is widely rejected. What mattered was what adults decided the fits meant. For many Puritans, the devil was active in daily life. Families tried prayer, fasting, and medical help. As the fits continued, adults pressed the afflicted to name an attacker. They named Sarah Good, an impoverished beggar; Sarah Osborne, isolated by illness and an inheritance dispute; and Tituba, an enslaved woman in the minister's household. On March 1st, magistrates examined them. Good and Osborne denied the charge. Tituba initially did too. Then, under sustained leading questions, she confessed. She described strange animals, a devil's book, and other witches. Her confession gave fear a plot. 3 accusations now looked like the edge of a conspiracy, and a conspiracy demanded more names. As accusations spread, magistrates in the special trial court accepted spectral evidence, testimony that an apparition in the accused person's shape had attacked someone. The accused could be across the room, while her supposed specter was blamed. Other evidence included old quarrels, sick livestock, angry words, and marks on the body. But once invisible attacks counted, innocence became almost impossible to prove. How do you produce an alibi for your ghost? During examinations, accusers cried out or collapsed. Officials treated those reactions as confirmation. If an accused woman glanced at a girl who then fell into a fit, even the glance looked incriminating. Denial did not end the accusation. It could feed it. Then the machinery reached Rebecca Nurse. She was elderly, respected, and a full church member. Neighbors petitioned for her. At trial, the jury returned an initial verdict: not guilty. For a moment, it looked over. Chief Justice William Stoughton ordered the jurors to reconsider a remark Nurse made about 2 confessing prisoners. Her words were taken as an admission that she belonged with them. Hard of hearing, she failed to explain herself. The jury returned guilty. Rebecca Nurse was hanged on July 19th. Her death revealed the trap, reputation, a petition, even an initial not guilty verdict. None could protect her. Confession offered no formal promise of mercy, but no one who maintained a confession was executed in 1692. Samuel Wardwell recanted his and was hanged. Confessions also named accomplices and fed new cases. The logic fed itself. Fits suggested affliction. Spectral accusations identified the supposed witch. Confessions made the conspiracy seem real. More accusations made it seem larger. Salem had no single cause. Massachusetts was strained by political upheaval, disease, church disputes, feuds, and frontier war. But accusers did not build the gallows. Officials turned claims into warrants. Magistrates turned fear into procedure. Juries turned stories into verdicts. At least 156 people were formally accused across Colonial Massachusetts. 19 were hanged. Giles Corey was pressed to death after refusing to enter a plea. At least 5 others died in jail. Not one was burned at the stake. Burning came from continental European prosecutions. Massachusetts followed the English punishment of hanging. Later literature, the Crucible, films, and Halloween tourism blended them into a simpler legend of secret rituals, villains, and fire. By autumn, opposition to spectral evidence was growing. Governor William Phips dissolved the special court in October. Its replacement rejected spectral evidence as proof. In January 1693, it acquitted 23 of 26 defendants. Phips pardoned the other 3. Nothing supernatural had changed. What counted as proof had. Judge Samuel Sewall later accepted blame. 12 jurors apologized. Accuser Ann Putnam Jr. expressed remorse. They still believed in witches and the devil, but acknowledged that innocent people had been condemned. That is why Salem still unsettles us. Not because witches were real, but because enough neighbors and officials became convinced they were. Once fear shaped the evidence, every denial could look suspicious, every coincidence planned, and every new accusation could make the last one feel true. Salem did not need magic to destroy its neighbors. It only needed people to trust the story more than the human being standing in front of them.